Well, hey, good morning, folks. So we're gonna do some artwork this morning. So give me a second here to check on my signal, make sure that we're coming through clearly. I've got some real fast social media posts to do, and then we're gonna do some character art for Dungeons and Dragons here for a couple hours. So I'm gonna check in on my signal here, make sure that I'm coming through clearly. I'm gonna check in on my signal here, make sure that I'm coming through clearly. I'm gonna check. That sounds fine. Let's drop that down, get it out of the way. Let's grab the link here for the social media posting real fast. And if you're already familiar with the channel, you can skip ahead a minute and we'll get into the art of it. But allow me to interest you with a quick introduction. My name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and I publish them online. I've been a D&D enthusiast since 1987. I've been a freelance illustrator since 1999, and I've been combining the two since 2018 by publishing content on the DMsGuild. And I'm a huge Eberron enthusiast. I've been playing in the world of Eberron since 2004, but I haven't done anything specifically to publish content for Eberron specifically yet. So we are in the process of creating this adventure, Crystals of Mabar. It's for characters 7th and 8th level. We're running around in Karnath, in the Karnwood, fighting undead, demons, and necromancers. And that's it for my intro. So let me fix my screens here real quick and just say, hey, if you think this stuff is cool, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications when we're live in the future. Here's a bunch of books I've already created on the DMsGuild already. We all have a 100% free preview. Crystals of Mabar will also have a massive preview part of it. And so Discord community, check out the books if you think they're cool and you're a D&D enthusiast. Purchase encourages similar behavior. Whatever book sells the most, I tend to do the most. I tend to build the most for. So this is the book cover we created. We're going to get that out of the way here. And for those that aren't indoctrinated, we're using a 16:9 format. My work is digital. I don't see colors, so color proofing for print is something I would have to hire a third party to do and then go through my layers and adjust the colors on them, because I can't do it myself. So if I work in a digital medium, I know that whatever it is that I see, you see. So like I can trust that the monitor is going to do what it's supposed to do, because that's where I'm building the art. And without having to worry about transferring to print, then it's easy to flow. If I start to do print in the future, it'll just be black and white, like line art and stuff. But I love being able to do color, so I'm encouraged to continue working in color, which means that my stuff pretty much remains as digital for reasons we just explained. So so this is one of the alternate plot hooks, the Ader Academy requisitions team. Your characters are hired to recover an artifact that was stolen from Ader Academy, the premier necromancy college in the world of Eberron. Along with the disappearance of the artifact, 6 interns have also gone missing. Juliet, Armand, Saidi, Louis, Elmon, and Rio. And as you can see here, none of these two of these characters are linked to these names, and the rest aren't. Juliet and Armand are accurately depicted, but the rest of them are just fill-ins for framing the page, right? So we're working on this is Professor Carter working as a scribe here with a book on an easel with a bookshelf behind him in a doorway. This is in Ader Academy. This is one of your quest givers. In this particular plot hook, Professor Carter is who assigns you to track down the artifact. So we're doing a little scene with, him in Ader Academy, and these we get the professor gifts the characters with the following items. The Academy can plane shift the characters to where scrying becomes obscured at the edge of the manifest zone. Map to the research facility, which will provide we have a handout, a description of the Eye of Mabar, and describes the ritual used to activate it, and then an image crystal described in Appendix B above that can be used. I need to turn down the volume on my microphone. Hold on. I need to turn down the volume. Let's get that down so it's not. I don't want to hear myself echoing too much, but if I turn it silent, YouTube thinks something weird is going on. There we go. That can be used to collect evidence of who is using the artifact and where it is located. The crystal has images of the missing researchers. So these are the research assistants that have gone missing. Obviously, we only have Juliet and Armand illustrated, but the rest are placeholders. So we step aside and we go into character illustrations. So that's what we're working on now. So that's what we'll be working on this week, these character illustrations. I have some initial poses that are sketched out. Hold on real quick. I gotta be right back. Let's grab this and just drop it down here. Okay, so yeah, we're going to be working on, these are the character sketches. And these are the completed two already. I'm going to slide those aside. We're going to stack. We're just going to stack these guys up. My hair is bugging on me. Maybe if we did it this way instead. Just go back to the original formatting. There we go. So get rid of the sketches, and we've got Armand and Juliet, and that sets the scale that we're working at. This is a 1-inch, 300 pixel by 300 pixel space. So this is the size that we use for creating all of our creature and NPC tokens. And in the adventure, once the characters get into the final dungeon, which is the research facility bunker. There's like in the Bastion system in 5e24, there is, hold on, I'm going to just start actually working here. Let's duplicate this layer. We'll invisibilize it. We'll crack open our tools palette here and swap the black whites. Now this is duplicated. We can just trim and hue on this. Right now we're just going to work on the sketches. And once we get all the sketches done for all the characters, then we'll move into doing color flats. And once color flats are done, we'll do detail and lighting, and then they'll be done. So let's see, got a character here. What was I just saying? Oh, right. So, yeah, when the characters get into the final dungeon, the Bastion system, it's not only a, well, it's not really a dungeon. Like, no dungeons are dungeons unless it's a prison. A dungeon is an underground or otherwise enclosed space that characters adventure room to room, dealing with threats, opposition, puzzles, and traps. So, in this instance, this puzzle, this dungeon, is a reactivated research facility that had been forgotten about and literally buried centuries ago, and was used to research different types of undeath or mechanics and magic that goes into necromancy. And part of that process was exploring an artifact called the Eye of Mabar. In this campaign, or rather the framework for this campaign is that each of the 13 planes of existence have an artifact that is made from and attuned to the material of that plane that, when used correctly, can create a manifest zone or a blending of those two worlds that can then be used to pass from one world into the next. And while this adventure is specifically about the Eye of Mabar for accessing the plane of Mabar, in the appendix there is details, or rather suggestions and some loose details about running an entire campaign and collecting all 13 artifacts to, if you decided, recreate reality as a whole. And I'm going to drop the volume here a bit. I think we can afford to do that, but I can't make the music any quieter. It's a little overwhelming for me, so there we go. We're trying out new music today. I've been using Epidemic as a what's the word I'm looking for? Licensed music that we can stream and listen to, but YouTube has a pretty extensive audio library that also has free content that I've decided to spend some time chewing on, and so we're gonna see how that goes. Here's the studio, and it works the same like everything else, but all of this music is there you go. All this music is free to use. It's royalty free. I also have the volume. All this music is free. I also have the volume. There, that should probably be good. So yeah, we're giving this a try, and if it works, Epidemic costs $18 a month, and Photoshop costs $25 a month. So if I can eliminate Epidemic, that essentially drops the cost of production for me down to like $8. So that's a great deal for me. So that's new music. We're going to be exploring that for a while, see how it turns out. So far, there's a lot of tracks I've enjoyed. So back on point. Underground research facility. It was designed, part of its design was to be able to perform rituals, and when they got their hands on the Eye of Mabar, way back when, they attempted to utilize it, and there was an incident of undead running rampant and demons starting to appear, and they're like, okay, well, we need to shut this operation down. And but the officers in the military during the last war were trained at Ader Academy, and for the most part are necromancers, many of which have joined the Emerald Claw cult. And that cult has become illegal since the end of the last war, and talks of war crime involving the use of necromancy kind of buzzing around. So there's a big nervousness involving that. So some of these necromancers had access to the Ader Academy as military officers in a military state at a military academy, had gotten information about what's in storage at the academy. And so now that the Emerald Claw is becoming war criminals, why not lean into it, raid the archives of Ader Academy, grab up some of the more powerful magic that's in there, and bug out. Just get out of the country, or become obscured. And so these guys grabbed the plan here is to grab the artifact, take it back to the facility where it was originally experimented on, since it's properly equipped to receive it and try to recreate the experiment. The idea is that a powerful enough manifest zone will actually terraform the environment to match that plane, so you can start harvesting exotic materials from it. The soil itself can be used to power acts as material components of gold piece value to power necromancy and darkness spells. So that has a lot of value unto itself. Here we go. Let's just making a face here as we go. That has a lot of value because it's it costs 300 gold to raise the dead or whatever. This can potentially sprinkle the soil, properly treated, sprinkle the soil of Mabar onto a corpse, and you can raise it from the dead or animate it as a zombie or whatever you want to do, just by sprinkling dirt on it and casting the spell. So that's a huge value savings to a cult of necromancers or a whole nation of necromancers that want to raise the dead. All you got to do is just bring a bunch of soil with you and just scatter it on the battlefield, and then do a ritual summoning, and then all the troops will rise up, and you can even precede a battlefield with this dirt that everyone fights on, and as soldiers die, you can just have a chanting squad in the back ranks hammering out a ritual that as they die, they rise back up, turn around, and attack who were their allies. What a great way to win a war. At some point, you're fighting your own brethren. Karnath doesn't even have to provide soldiers, just some managers. That was the idea, and it never worked out when they were originally using the eye, because the undead were, let's just say, they were unruly. They were super powered by Mabaran energy and would turn on their commanders. So ultimately, intelligent undead is bad news, and that's what Mabar likes to build. Intelligent undead. And Yugoloths. They also like Yugoloths. So there's a lot of high-end bad news that are hanging out in Mabar, and your characters are messing around with it. So if you wanted to extend it out to a full campaign, you could then make a fetch quest. Once you learn there's the Eye of Mabar, it's what other planes have artifacts that could be collected, and what benefits do we have from either using, attuning to, or trading off these artifacts for whatever. So there's competing factions that are also looking for these artifacts. And again, if you can collect all 13. And if you start at level 8 with this adventure, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So by the time you get to 20th level and you're looking to end the campaign, your characters could potentially have all 13 artifacts. And if you wanted to, you could reshape or redefine how the planes of existence operate in Eberron, as your campaign capper as 20th level gods. We don't go into the detail about all the artifacts. We just suggest what they are and give you an illustration of each of them. But the gist is there's a ritual it can perform, and it will permanize the plane that they're connected with. Otherwise, you can come up with, since it's terraforming the environment, you can, as a DM, decide, if we're going to do Shavareth, the Eternal Battlefield, if that's a plane that you want to manifest. And then you can decide what the effects are when, the environmental conditions that causes. So it's beyond the scope of this particular adventure to go into those specific details, but I would not mind a conversation about fleshing them out. That's just beyond the skill. You have to be aware of scope sprawl. That's important. For example, a good example of scope sprawl, which I was okay with, is cornfield mazes. This all starts because NPCs in a village are complaining that people are going missing and they're getting scared. So I'm going to take this to the top.
That people are going missing and they're getting scared. So
and so you're hired to go check it out, and it's probably nothing, of course, but if it is something, you're given a badge, which gives you the authority to ask questions and, if necessary, resolve problems, resolve TM. This color is too fancy. This color is too fancy. But he can have his color flipped up. That's cool. But he can have his color flipped up. That's cool. So I stream like this Monday through Friday in the mornings doing the artwork. And then we do game design in the afternoons. So this is Monday. So I will be streaming this evening. It's about 7 o'clock here. It's just past 7. Actually, I should turn on a timer. Streaming this evening. It's about 7 o'clock here. It's just past 7. Actually, I should turn on a timer. There. I run in 20-minute bursts. When that goes off, I know 20 minutes has gone by. 3 of those, that's an hour. Normally, I start my my day job at 8 a.m. It's 7:15 here in Seattle now. But I'm burning some vacation time today, so I can play a little bit longer than usual. But I've got work I want to do around here and off screen, so I'll be back on tonight at by 6 o'clock. Since I have the day off, I can actually get online on time and start at 6, but we'll continue working on the Bastions campaign supplement to convert the 5e24 Bastion system into skill challenges and into like gamify it instead of leaving it in the social pillar of explaining what your characters do, and then because your facilities say you can do it, it just happens. I think gamifying that creates a lot better sense of reward. So we have a whole system built for that. Also with it, siege warfare, settlements, kingdoms. There's a lot of stuff that we can do with a social economic level 5e game system using the rules that you're already familiar with. It's just somebody has to build it, and so that's what I do. I build mechanical systems in the 5e game engine to create different styles of play than what's presented in the player's handbook. That is the kind of tech that I geek out on, and I love the 5e game engine. It's such a good role-playing game. That I want to lean into it and help develop it to demonstrate how versatile of a system it actually is. I think if all you're doing is the character, like single character focused dungeon running, like the dungeon punk motif that started in 3E and was amplified in 4E. Now they're starting to slide away from dungeon punk more into theater crowd, like sort of social engagement, and that's divorcing us even further away from the original Dominion style of play that higher end original AD&D and BECME was leaned into. Like again, D&D came from a war game where it was basically, hey, we're commanding this troop of 100 soldiers or 1,000 soldiers, but what happens if we just want to have like a demolition team of like 4 or 6 characters go in and like destroy a bridge? We don't have anything for that at such a small, finite, close-in scale. So they developed chainmail, which evolved into D&D, which is what it is now 50 years later. But it was a way to depict individual characters in a military to perform small-scale operations. Sabotage and infiltration and stuff, poisoning or whatever. And so that evolved into dungeon delving and adventuring and gaining levels. But then as your characters gained levels, you would get to a point where you had followers and started building your own army. So it flips from being this warfare game to individual characters who then become powerful enough to lead their own army. So you've got this cascading effect of build up a kingdom, then create characters inside that kingdom, and when they ascend and grow up, they create their own kingdoms, which spawns new characters, which grow up and create new kingdoms. So you can see there's like this Big Bang explosion cascade of creating first level characters, and as they ascend up to 20th level, they build this realm and all of this power around them. You can't be a 20th level character and not exude some influence on the environment around you. While the 5e game engine doesn't really provide any rules of how that influence can be expressed in the original D&D game, all of that came from the kingdom or the fortress or the army that you would essentially gain control of and then be able to operate at the geopolitical level. So that's the purpose of the Bashing campaign, is to provide those rules using the 5e game engine, so that you're using mechanics you're already familiar with inside of D&D 5e, just to expand it out, to up the scale, to be at the kingdom level, or even the planar level if you really wanted to. This guy's pretty passive, which is why it's not a main character. This guy's pretty passive, which is why it's not a main character. Head's a little bit big. Head's a little bit big. That's a little small. And because I'm only working with one pixel and I made it bigger and smaller, now it's blurry. So now I gotta fucking fix it. That's the problem with working at the 300 pixel scale. It's when you're only using one pixel brushes and then you modify its size, it skews all the work, which is a shame because I was liking that, but this is part of the process. There, like that. There. Raise that up a smidge. And hit the shoulders. There we go. Nice. We've somehow arrived at a skeptically quizzical look, and I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah, I think I'm good with that. Let's merge that down and keep at it. Pitter patter. Actually, right about there. I'm going to swing this out a little bit. I have some pockets right here. I'm still figuring out the pose here. That's why I'm avoiding those arms. But I'm looking at it and I'm contemplating it. He's got this skeptical look to him, so I'm thinking. He's got this skeptical look to him, so I'm thinking. There we go. I'm thinking like arms crossed, or I'm not sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That. I mean, what an NPC sort of pose, huh? What a nobody. What an NPC sort of pose, huh? What a nobody. That's okay. After the war, when I was still alive, suddenly nobody was somebody. Everybody who was alive was somebody. Thank you, Tina Turner. Play something for me, JoJo. Make it tragic. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. That's what I'm quoting. If you don't know the quote, and when Tina Turner's explaining to Max how the world was, his exposition. He already knows this. He lost his family, whatever. But Tina Turner's doing her thing, and she was great in that role too, man. It's just what an on point cast pick. Yeah, maybe just being a skeptic is a good idea. It seems awfully, I mean, it's incredibly passive just to have your arms folded like this, but maybe that's not what I actually want to do. Maybe I want to do something. That's somewhat passive, but not outright lazy. You know, like, you're here to work, son. Get to work. So maybe we'll have like you're here to work, son. Get to work. So maybe we'll have like a little pouch he's messing around with here. Yeah, there we go. Stirring the pot. Literally stirring the pot. So he can kick his arm out a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Stirring the pot. He can casually stir at something while he contemplates your bullshit story for who are you and why are you here. There's, like I was saying, there's the Bastion system in the DMG, or the Bastion campaign that I've been developing. There's these facilities that are different areas inside the Bastion that can be used for different actions, and laboratory is one of them, where you can craft alchemist items and make magical items and experiment and research and stuff like that, to create new formula, use harvest materials to make things. Like that's a meme. So we want to lean into that idea. So basically, this guy is. Let's drop this down here like that. That seems right. So there's a laboratory in the way that the The way that the facility is laid out is that it's organized by facilities. There's like a barracks and a training hall and the laboratory, obviously, and barracks, common spaces, storeroom. Or rather, I think it's called storehouse in the DMG. Teleportation circle is another facility in the DMG. These are all different facilities that are inside the underground research facility. Hence, the title, research facility. That kind of all coincides, right? With the idea that in some of these scenarios, your characters can take control of this location and make it their bastion. And if you're using the plot hook where you're recruited as deputies, then your characters basically become the what's it like that? Like that. This facility becomes your character's bastion that you can then use to run adventures out of. This facility becomes your character's bastion. Bring down his girth here. All right, well, we've got the pose down and what he's actually doing. That's good. I'm feeling like I want to switch to this isn't done, obviously, but I feel like I want to switch gears to the next NPC. That's where he was. This is where he is now. Let's make a folder out of that. And what are we going to name you? Who are you? Juliet, Armand, Elmon, Rio, Lewis, Seda. I want to make a gal, so I guess you're Lewis Barber. Seda, I want to make a gal. Lewis Barber. And you are Juliet Lynn. And Armand Laton. I don't know, man. I get this weird French Spaniard sort of vibe coming off of Karnath. I mean, it has the necromancy theme to it, which kind of leans towards Romania and that sort of area. But I keep getting this like off French vibe about Karnath. For whatever that's worth. We can afford to make him just a smidge smaller. Yeah, that lines up. Duplicate this group. Conceal. Actually, guy. That's going to be the gal. To be Seda de Fear. So let's duplicate that layer. duplicate that layer. So this will be Elmon Gopyros. Elmon Gopyros. Armand Gil Piros. And this will be Rio Brickus. Looks like he's also mixing something. That might be have him mixing something, and now you're mixing something. We can have you doing something else. We'll get around to you, Rio. We'll figure that out. We'll get around to you, Rio. We'll figure that out. All right, pitter patter. Let's get at her. I'm gonna drop the opacity here real quick. That feels in alignment. Thank you, Tell Me Timer. Cool. All right, cool. Carry on. Cool. All right, cool. Carry on. Got a lean going to him that I don't like. I'm gonna shift that. Now, some of these lab techs are spies, and if you're using the 12 plot hook. The Council of 12 conspiracy. If you're using that plot hook, then 2 of these lab techs are actually spies that were planted in Aether Academy to gather knowledge about the different sort of things that the scientists are fucking around with, steal notes to make use of for themselves by the Dragon Mark houses without having to necessarily identify where they got the information from. And who knows how necromancy could be useful to the guild to the Dragon Mark houses. So that's the 12's influence in the campaign. Basically, a group of mega corporations that are slowly gaining influence and power over the nations in Encorvair. So 2 of these characters are there specifically to learn about the processes that are being used and the different types of things that, like the inventions that can be created from the materials from the plane of Avar. It's unusual to be able to interact with another dimension. So obviously the 12 wants to have their mitts in it. Initially, the necromancers were working with the 12 to get funding, but then they betrayed the 12, cut them off, and decided to try doing things on their own. So the 12 want to send a kill team in to swat them out and then replace them with loyalists that they know they can trust. They took a gamble on these guys. They got burned. Big surprise. It happens. When you're doing shady shit, sometimes things go south. They have contingent plans to resolve that, and you are part of that contingent plan. The teleportation facility in the bunker has been disabled, so you need a expendable team to go in and reactivate the teleportation circle. So a SWAT team can come in and commandeer the facilities and resume operations underneath 12 control. So your character's job specifically is to sneak in, activate the teleportation circle, and then send use a sending stone to alert your handler. Rashid Malign is the name of your contact in that plot hook. But tell Rahid that you've activated the teleportation circle, and then a squad of NPC warriors show up to start cleaning house, as it were. Your job is to get the fuck out. So you use when the teleportation circle activates, you go through it, and a kill squad comes out of it, and you are done. And you walk away. So if you're doing a one-shot adventure, that's a fun little one-shot you can do. It's basically a little dungeon run with an objective that isn't kill all the monsters, but rather sneak in and get this teleportation circle up and running and turn it on before anyone can stop you. Like, it's a very different mission than like the default plot hook. As a deputy, you're supposed to rescue the missing hostages, or if you're part of the Aether Academy, your objective is to secure the artifact and return it to Aether Academy. So there's a number of different ways. Like, you could do that by activating the teleportation circle and then dialing back into Aether Academy, or if you don't know how to use the teleportation circle, you can just hoof back to the academy. It's assumed like they provide you with a plane shift because they know where the facility that was built for this artifact, they know where it's at, because that's just part of the archive records that Aether Academy has access to. So naturally they would know where to send you, and to expedite everything, they'll get you there, but that doesn't mean you have a way back. Teleportation circle, they don't necessarily know about the teleportation circle, they just know the history of the location and its location and its significance, but they don't they have a vague map of the place, but don't have any real details other than, different rooms, and here's the and here's where the ritual is probably being held at, so go there. I'm going to expand this out a little bit. There's a total of 6 different plot angles. Again, the default is being deputized, so your characters have the authority to ask anyone anything, and once you flash a badge, the NPCs in the village will be more than happy to help you. And then you can go through the forest to find the manifest zone, to then go underground to fight the necromancers. And some of the villagers have died already, being sacrificed to the ritual. Others are still alive and very thankful that you're there to help rescue them. So now you have the issue of, do I want to rescue and take these guys back home and proceed and let the ritual proceed and come back, perhaps sabotage now that there's no one to sacrifice. Joke's on you, they just start sacrificing their own people. So the ritual is going to keep going, so you're going to come back and shut down the facility, or you could risk the villagers still being on site and make them the secondary goal, and instead prioritize stopping the ritual once you understand what's happening. So that's up to the NPC, the players. That's technically, as a DM, I don't care. Like, here's the scenario, how do you want to deal with it? And that's to me is good adventure design, is where you create a scenario that's compelling enough that they want to find out more about what's going on, they want to investigate and poke around and get in trouble and figure out what's there for us, how can we use this in our campaign. And this is chock full of that. I'm going to I need to make an adjustment real quick. So give me a hot second here. I need to make some adjustments on my end here real fast. Let's see. Sorry for the delay here, folks. Let's go here and here. Content live. Eberron. Sorry, I'm experimenting with tags here real quick. There. Here. Down here. No. Tags. And D&D. There. Save. Oh, there we go. Here, and let's scroll down, fix our screen. Cool. All right, so everything should be fine now.
To resolve a plane, encircle, proceed, and let the.
Yep, just adding in some tags. See if that. See how that causes YouTube or something. If I add tags. Normally, what I'll do is I'll stream, and when the stream ends, I add in tags to identify it for replayability. But if I add tags first or while I'm streaming, how does that impact the channel? I don't know. I'm definitely noticing a drop in D&D activity. Like D&D tags don't impact the algorithm as much lately because of Daggerheart and Drawsteel and other things that have been coming out with the YouTube community, trending away from talking about D&D. I think the amount of traffic that I see is decreasing, so I am adapting to the situation like everyone would, and seeing where that may take me. I'm gonna drop that shoulder a bit. There. Let's do that. Then we'll do a mix of different types of people. Yeah, I'm liking this music. YouTube Studio. It has a lot of royalty-free music. I don't even have to attribute, so it doesn't cause any drag in me creating the descriptions or anything. It's just here's music, use it. Okay. So I think I've got like maybe 5 hours worth of music that I've grabbed up, which is way longer than any stream that I ever do. So if this flows well, I'll probably be dropping Epidemic next month. I like a lot of the music that I have on Epidemic. I like it a lot, but it's not worth $18 a month to have it when it's just generic music to play in the background. Yeah, so I'll probably be swapping that out. I'm gonna let it ride for the rest of September, but I think as of October I'll be dropping Epidemic. Yeah, so I'm gonna let it ride. It's just an expense I don't think I actually need to incur. Your head is a little off there, partner. There you go. It's just an expense I don't think I actually need to incur. Your head is a little off there, partner. Some chemical waft. Chemical waft. Wait, are there two people named Armand? Did I do that somehow? Who are you? Is it Elmon Gapiros? Is that who we're working on? Or two people named Armand? Did I do that somehow? Gilpiros is supposed to be Elmon, not Armand. Elmon. That makes more sense. Get here, Armand. You look like an Elmon. I think I'm down with that. And this is a loose sketch, so I think that looks pretty good. Down here is where number 6 is supposed to be. Here's number 5. Here's number 4. One, two, three, four. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Wait. 1, 2, 3, and then this is where the second button. So the fourth button should be here. 4, 5. 1, 2. There we go. One, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Here. 5. 6. Like that. There we go. Yeah, you're looking pretty good. Again, I'm just going to let that settle there. That's our sketch for now, so I'm going to let that sit. Seda and Ryu. I'm going to do... Let's do Ryu first. down a bit. Here. Good. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this music. It's just at this point, I don't think I need to pay separately for. I mean, YouTube is providing this for free. It's hard to front on that. You can tell me the timer. This song's kind of annoying. I'm gonna unstar you and skip on to the next one. We're curating our list. We're figuring out what music do I actually like on here and what don't I. I feel like your head should be wider. Oh, that immediately made it more interesting. I'm gonna put that tilt back in. He looks inquisitive. Yeah, adventures require a lot of different types of visual assets, aside, maps and tokens and diagrams to demonstrate the different locations and things and creatures that are located inside of the dungeons of the adventure. But beyond that, there's also all the illustrations of the characters and the locations and the items, and like actually interacting and being part of an ongoing narrative. So there's a lot of components that go into an adventure. If you really want to deck out like a high quality Wizards of the Coast style adventure, you're gonna have a shitload of assets. Which is why we have 550 episodes. Between production, design, play testing, I've probably put 2,000 hours into building this, which is in no way ever going to be profitable for me. This is just, I've never done it, so I wanted to do it so I can just recognize what goes into it for me to be able to plan my progress in the future. And who dilly, this thing has been murder to do. Just an overwhelming scale of this project. But it's the next natural step in the evolution of me creating content. So although I'm certainly not enjoying the pregnancy, I'm going to appreciate it once it's born. And maybe that'll give me a sense of perspective and scope for other projects that are moving on. Like once I finish this project, anything else that I do is going to just seem easy. Honestly. Maybe that'll give me a sense of perspective and scope for other projects that are moving on. Once I finish this, oh, this guy looks worried. He does not like whatever is happening. I mean, how do you walk away? Like, you could leave, but you'll be walking out into a field of potential undead just eating you, and then they'll have to kill you too. Kind of stuck here, buddy. Like, I didn't know this is what we were going to be getting into, and now I'm in too deep. My brain hurts. But you'll be walking out into a field of potential undead just eating you, and then they'll have to kill you too. Kind of stuck here, buddy. I didn't know this is what we were going to. All you can really do is just try to see it through, man. You could try to escape, but goddamn, the undead will kill you, man. And if they don't, the Emerald Claw will hunt you down and drag you back, and then probably sacrifice you. So, in for a penny, in for a pound, y'all. I got some. I gunk. All you can really do is just try to see it through, man. You could try to escape, but God, the undead will kill you, man. And if they don't, the Emerald Claw will hunt you down and drag you back, and then probably sacrifice you. So, in for a penny, in for a pound, y'all. That's a little bit too grandiose of a lab coat for the likes of you. One of the alternate plot hooks you can run across Ryu actually attempting to escape. I think it's on point that he looks so worried because he is the one character that consistently bails on this place. One of the alternate plot hooks you can run across Ryu actually attempting to escape. I think it's on point that he looks so worried because he is the one character that consistently bails on this place. Let's shrink that down a smidge. Good. One, two. Like that. There we go. I want those arms to flare out a little bit. I think I need to. Cut those out. And duplicate. And then perspective, and let's. Here we go. But now it's overbearing. Let's duplicate that layer and seal, and let's get back into it. Let's see, have this over here like that. Resize that. That feels about right. Like that. Cool. Now we can do that, merge this down. A little tall in the head there, buddy. Bring you down a smidge. Tall collars, or where the jawline meets the frame of your shoulders, that generally denotes strength, power, adventure, heroism, while having a longer neck with a slighter frame obviously is less like aggressive masculine. So I don't want this. I want this guy to have clearance from his collar to his jaw, so he doesn't look unnecessarily heroic, and a little bit of a slope, aggressive masculine, so like a curve in his shoulders doesn't look strong, it looks hollow, like shelled out, so it looks weak, which also denotes like desk work or lab tech versus like field worker or axe swinger. Plus, his body language is passive, and his face has that worried look on him. He looks like somebody that wants to run away. So that's the role that he plays in the adventure. We want the narrative of the character to match the look. Plus, his body language is passive, and his face has that worried look on him. He looks like somebody that wants to run away. So that's the role that he plays in the adventure. We want the narrative of... I want to have his sleeves rolled up, but that seems too casual. This does not seem like a roll up the sleeves sort of fellow. He's not the one to sort of put himself out to put in the hard work. I think I think he's in a place where this seemed like an opportunity for him to get ahead. He was nervous about it, but got involved, found out there's necromancers, and now people are being killed, and he is very much, I want out. So he will take any opportunity that will arise. So that gives opportunity for the players to find him, having escaped from the facility and willing to tell them about it if the plot hook that you're using doesn't give you that information up front. So the characters that are in here, they play different roles, or they provide different things to the characters depending on how the characters are approaching, like how the adventure is approached. And that's largely up to the DM choosing one of the plot hooks and then deciding if any of the other plot hook information here would help juice up the story more, make it more relevant to the team that's actually running the adventure. There we go. Of course, again, we're swapping all these guys out so we have a variety, and it's a 16 by 9 format. So again, for those that haven't seen it before, when you fill out your screen, if you're looking at YouTube here, full screen, you'll see, there we go. If you were to click the full screen option on your PDF when you pick this up, this is how it would appear. And on your device, you could probably, I would not be surprised if you could just read offhand the text that's going on inside here. It's 12-point font text. As the body, it's 17 inches by, this fits on a 17 by 11 page. It's technically only 10 inches tall to meet the 16 by 9 ratio, but if you were to print it out, you would use portrait style or landscape 17 by 11, and you just have an extra inch at the bottom, or a half-inch border at the top and the bottom. So we're filling in. Not only are these tokens for to actually be actively moving around inside the dungeon, where the DM wants them to be positioned at, but it's also, again, these are images that the players are provided to identify the lab workers that have gone missing with the artifact that you're looking for, and then in the adventure details like what if there's anything interesting going on with them at each area where you could encounter them, it'll tell you about that. And of course, as an adventure, most of this material is just optional that you can choose to lean into if you're running this. Like if anything grabs your particular interest, you can use what's here and then embellish it. It's very kit bashable. That I think is probably one of the strongest elements of having created this is that it can be modified so easily to fit different stories or whatever it is that you have going on with your characters. But the framework to give them the authority to ask questions and to enter conflict lawfully if necessary would since that's the default plot hook that's provided in the adventure, that literally gives your characters the authority to ask what they want, go where they want, and if necessary, be hostile with anyone that's trying to prevent you. And once you get to once you get to the mercenaries that the necromancers hired to push people away, if you're using that deputy plot hook, then the mercenaries, as long as the team isn't outright trying to kill the mercenaries are going to be pretty cool. And it's like, yeah, you obviously have legal authority here. They were under the impression this was a lawful activity. But once they realize what's going on, they are not interested in getting in the way of the law, because they are a legitimate mercenary organization. The Red Wolves, they're a legitimate mercenary organization. So they're attempting the whole regiment. The Red Wolves was a regiment of undead wranglers during the last war. Their job was to contain undead at the battlefield or in storage for use. And so they're specialized in not getting killed by undead while controlling their movement and their activities. So what a great hire, and what a what a blessing to them, because they were all let go because the undead armies were released. So you don't need wranglers anymore. So they were decommissioned. So they converted to being mercenary troops, since there could be roaming parties of undead out there that need to be resolved. The hopes was, if there are undead menaces that arise, that they can make coin in helping resolve it and do what they've been trained to do. So they get hired by what seemed to be a reputable branch of military. Turned out to be Emerald Claw Zealots that had been dishonorably discharged from the Karnath military. But by the time they realize this, it's way too late. They're way deep in. And having authority figures show up is like, what a relief. Because like these guys are thinking, like, are we going to get wrapped up in war crimes? Like, where do we need to cut our losses on this? When the characters show up with badges, it's like, thank God, yeah, go that way. We're going to stay the hell out of your way. As long as the team hasn't killed too many of the mercenaries in the process, they're going to have a neutral or friendly disposition towards your team. Kill too many of their members, and they're going to be hostile towards you. Or if you're coming in without a badge, they're going to be hostile to you. So for anyone other than characters that are deputized for this adventure, the mercenaries are hostile. If you come in with the gatekeepers, they are hostile. If you come in with the silver flame, they are hostile. So it just depends on how the DM wants to frame the adventure for what the campaign is that the characters are the players are involved in. Determines like, how do I actually want to handle this. So it's a fun little element to it. And yeah, this guy's looking pretty good. So it just depends on how the DM wants to frame the adventure for what I don't know about this song. I'm going to unstar that one. Let's skip on to the next one. Yeah, that'll do. Seems a little long. There we go. That feels better. Cool, you're good, guy. You are good. So we got Armand is finished, and Juliet is finished. And now we've got the sketch for Lewis and Elmon and Ryu, and now we'll work on Seda. And 8:17. I'm running long today on purpose. I'm not going into work until later on today, so I had some float schedules, so I slept in a little bit and got started late a little bit. Now we've got the sketch for Lewis. We put in an hour and a half so far, so we're going to finish this gal off. And then we'll cut for the day, and we'll come back tomorrow. So we do artwork like this Monday through Friday in the mornings, and then we do game design for the text and concepts and mechanics and stuff that go into this type of stuff. We do that in the afternoons and evenings. Tonight at 6 o'clock, which will be a little less than 10 hours from now, we'll be continuing with the Bastion campaigns. Working out complications and Bastion events to create adventure scenarios for characters. I'm going to give Seda glasses. So far, so good. So what? Working that tablet.
So far, so good. So what?
Head's looking a little bit big there, sister. Let's shrink that up a bit. There we go. Just a little gesture. It's just a simple little token. Seda doesn't have much of a role in the establishment other than just being a body that's working on stuff. You know, she's just another lab tech that got wrapped up in here. But she is one of the least defined in the adventure, so DMs are welcome to make up any story that they want about her, how she's involved, if she even comes up. It's like you don't have to mess around with these lab techs if you don't want to, but they are a source of information and a point of interest as just a random social encounter, just to feed the characters in on what's going on, if needed.
If she even comes up, you don't have to mess around with these lab techs if you don't want to, but they are a source of information and a point of interest as just a random social encounter, just to feed the characters.
I feel like I keep missing the mark here.
If needed.
Need to get back to fundamentals with this one. I like the pose. I'm just gonna leave her headless for a few, so I can get the posture resolved, and then we'll come back in and form the head.
Need to get back to fundamentals with this one. I like the pose. I'm just gonna leave her headless for a few.
So far, so good.
Posture resolved. And then we'll come back and form the head. So far, so good.
Like that. Bunch of owls in the forest going on in this background. I don't know how well you can hear the music, but there's little owls hooting. A weird soundtrack.
Bunch of owls in the forest going on in this background. I don't know how well you can hear the music, but there's little owls hooting.
There we go. Straighten that out. This sounds a little funky. I think I'm into it though. That. All right, I can feel my time is closing in, so I'm going to be finishing up here in a few moments. Get some day job resolved. Go run some errands. I'm going to be back tonight. I'm going to be on at 6 o'clock to work on the Bastions campaign. That feels a little off. Still feels just a touch off. I like that though. I think that pose is good. Arms seem a little fluffy though. There. Like that. Build up that mass there in the arm. Arm should be tucked in a little bit more if she's riding a natural pose. This feels pretty good over here though. I like that. That seems reasonable. There. So far, so good. It's just a sketch for now, but this is where I feel like I should stop. So I'm going to go ahead and put the brakes on now. We've been at for about 100 minutes, right? A little more than hour and a half. This is a good breaking point. I'm going to go ahead and kick out of here for now. I'll be back tonight. Yeah, we do sketches like this. We do artwork every day. We do cartography, tokens, items, equipment, weapons, armor, characters, environments. I think I said that twice. And then, no, I said maps, right. Yeah, and we just keep building out illustrations until, and again, here's the 16:9 format. So as you can see, like once we get all these characters done, we'll have these little images of the lab techs that we're looking for. We have Professor Carter over here. We still have a bunch of books on the bookshelf to finish, but I'm doing a lot of this off screen just because I have time that I spend both on screen doing this and off screen, so I keep moving the ball forward on as much stuff as I can so we can get to completion sooner than later, which should hopefully be by the end of the year. So feels good. All right, so I'm going to go hit the brakes for now. We'll be back tomorrow. I think I'll have a little bit of time tonight to potentially finish out the initial line art for these characters. So when we come back in tomorrow, we're just going to start filling in color and details, and then once we finish this, we've got 3 more plot hooks to complete. We still have no, Families and Friend is done. So that one's done. Deputize is done. Okay, yeah, so that leaves, and then the Council of 12 Conspiracy has been completed already. And then this one is Ader Academy. After we complete this one, the only 2 that are left is Church of the Silver Flame and Druid Gatekeepers. Those will be the last 2 plot hooks we have to detail. And then from there, it's just we're just looking for random elements throughout the adventure to drop in little visual things. So we're really starting to spiral the toilet here, guys, and getting this thing flushed out and out into the real world. So I'm excited. I hope you are too. thanks a lot to everybody that's checked this out today. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow morning to continue with this artwork. Tonight we're going to be working on the Bastion campaign mechanics to keep moving that forward, so that once this book publishes, the Bastion campaign will move forward on the workbench, and that'll be what we do artwork, and page layouts, and design stuff for, while we work on the Magic the Gathering color mana system after the Bastions. So we're playtesting the martial powers color mana system right now for martial characters alongside spellcasters. That's what we're doing on my Discord channel right now. But by the time this is completed and the Bastion campaign is loaded up, we'll finish our playtesting for the Bastion system. We can start working on the back end of that to, or rather the front initial creative process for the Bastion campaign, building that out. Martial powers, working with color mana systems, what I meant to say. So Eberron adventure, then Bastion campaigns, then martial powers and color mana, and then once the playtesting for that is finished, we'll be racking up the Spelljammer Storm King's Thunder campaign to test the Kaiju mecha mechanics that we want to publish to complement the Spelljammer book that we already published, which is linked down below with all the other books that I like to publish. So that's it for now, guys. I'm going to bail out of here. Thanks a lot. Join my Discord community. It's linked down below. Check out my work. My books that are free previewed have a ton of my artwork. So it's just my design ideas. If you're a 5e enthusiast, it's worth your time checking it out. So I will see you guys on the other side. Thanks a lot.